time world champion. Dominic Mysterio is the Intercontinental Champion. He's on the show. Becky Lynch is back and a tag team champion, and she's on the show. We're breaking it all down because this is WrestleMania Recap Night 2, brought to you by Fanatics. Megan Moran, welcome to Night 2 of the WrestleMania Recap. It has been a wild weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am frankly still processing everything that's going on right now. I'm still processing everything that I've experienced, that we've experienced together. We went out onto the floor here in Vegas to experience the main event of Night 2, just as we did last night for Night 1. Tonight's experience was very, very different.
I feel kind of just
Bummed?
Yeah,
Bummed.
I mean, I don't know if let down is the right word. I just,
Deflated.
we just saw history happen in front of our own eyes. And I almost feel nothing.
Well, I feel.
I feel empty.
I feel a lot.
I feel empty.
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. We're in an era where promises are kept. John Cena literally said to Cody Rhodes on Friday on SmackDown, you will have a choice. You had a choice. He pointed out the choice of either doing what the fans think is right or winning the match. 48 hours later, Cody is given that choice.
He has the title.
Ready to smash John Cena's face inside of his skull.
By the way, after he already should have won the match twice,
Yes,
but couldn't because the referee was not there to count.
Now, he decides not to do it because it just wouldn't be right.
He's such a good guy.
And John Cena, yeah, he's a good guy, but he's not the champion anymore. Cody Rhodes. And Megan, you and I were together a year ago at WrestleMania 40. Talk about a different scenario. You and I were together when we saw Cody get his hero's moment. Cody finally conquering the beast, and it was multiple beasts. Cody had to fight his way through to get another match with Roman Reigns because he had lost to Roman Reigns. Cody had to, real life storyline, however you want to put it, fight through to get the match with Roman Reigns instead of The Rock.
Cody had to
Getting the
bet
match
on
with Roman
himself.
Reigns.
Had to leave WWE, had to start from the bottom, and we were along with on the journey, and it all culminated at WrestleMania 40. And we were there.
But he got it all. He wins the title. And tonight, we see that reign come to an end. We saw two major moments. John Cena beating Ric Flair's record. 16-time world champion. John Cena is a 17-time world champion. And Cody's finish the story reign is now over. I think that this has to create an entirely new version of Cody Rhodes. This is a version of Cody Rhodes that has a different, I would imagine, set of goals, a different story to tell, something completely different from the afterglow of finishing the story. The idea was you come back to WWE, you beat Roman Reigns, you finish the story, you're the champion now, and you are QB1. You're the captain of the team.
You're the face of the industry.
And it all was ruined, to use the term that John Cena used, tonight after Travis Scott interferes. Luckily, it was very satisfying after what we saw at Elimination Chamber to watch Travis Scott eat that crossroads. He got what he had coming to him, but inevitably, it was John Cena, after using the title to hit Cody Rhodes, that beats Cody Rhodes, becomes the champion. And I'm just sitting there going, and you know what left me dismayed the most?
What's that?
He called his shot. He told us what he was going to do. He said Cody was going to come to this crossroads, no pun intended. But more importantly, he said, I'm going to ruin wrestling. And like fans in Las Vegas, I don't know if they were having fun. I don't know. because the fans were into it. There was a
Yes,
buzz throughout the entire match. There was noise going on in that building throughout the entire match. But I say they were into it because they were invested. They were not cheering Cody Rhodes in all the parts that I think that we all thought Cody would get cheered. And they were not booing John Cena in all the parts that I think John Cena, or maybe I, expected John Cena to get booed in. And it's really interesting about this John Cena that no matter how hard he tries, the crowd won't cooperate. It's like his whole career mission.
And it was even interesting when the Cody Rhodes chant erupted, because then it was immediately followed by boos.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we all were stuck in this moment, right? And this moment that we saw was two icons.
Yeah.
Two icons meeting in the ring in a main event of WrestleMania. I said it on the Countdown show with Joe Tess. I said, because Joe Tess asked me on the Countdown show, what do you think the crowd is going to react to? And I said, I don't know. Because on one end, yeah, if you're concentrating on what's going on right now, John Cena is giving you every reason in the world to boo him. But there's this huge contingency of WWE fans that have been waiting for John Cena to be a villain for so long that a level of excitement comes with it. Except John Cena has a level of commitment to being that villain. John Cena, this is why he didn't change his gear up. And he told us, he's flat out told us, this is what I'm going to do. This is why I'm going to do it.
You want to see something different, and guess what?
I'm not giving it to you. He comes out, and we don't, the Tron is just black with white lettering that says John Cena on it.
That's it.
We don't even get the big entrance. John Cena has some of the biggest entrances in the history of WrestleMania. John Cena won't even give us the John Cena entrance. He didn't do a spin around and put his hands up for the crowd. He didn't do anything. And he went on Monday Night Raw, and he said, I'm going to ruin wrestling.
And I'm going to win this title and take it with me when I leave.
But when he said when he said I'm going to ruin wrestling, we all said, "Oh, this is the story that we're telling." What is the event that is most close to the heart of every wrestling fan? What is the weekend that we all come alive for and soak it all in? What is that weekend? What is the event?
It's WrestleMania.
Nailed it!
WrestleMania.
And so what did he do? He said, no, I'm going to do exactly what I said, and I'm going to leave here with the WWE Championship, and I'm going to do it in a way that leaves you going, what?
And that's exactly what we're feeling right now is,
what? That's how I felt on the floor. I was just looking, going, it can't just be over. It can't just be... And now John Cena has taken...
And it took us about 5 minutes after the match ended to actually leave the stadium.
Yeah.
Because we could not believe that was it.
Just waiting.
And that this was over.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop. And John Cena said, no, I thought I told you. You want the other shoe to drop? Oh, if that's what you want, no, you may not have it. It really... Everything about this John Cena that we're getting now, starting from the end of the Elimination Chamber and going forward, is not what we're expecting, is not what we want. It is so, and there's no way of sitting there trying to call the plays as it goes, right? Because that's what we were all doing. The minute John Cena turns heel, we're going, okay, and then he could do this. Remember, Hollywood Hogan did that, and then he could do this. And John's like, no. And we go, oh, and then WrestleMania, they could do this and they could do that. And you know, people are like fantasy booking a WrestleMania 41 that looks exactly like WrestleMania 40. And John Cena goes, is that what you want? No. What if I give you the complete opposite? What if you just go home, and even if you were cheering for me in the building, even if you went to the stadium and cheered for me in Las Vegas, you're still kind of going home like, I didn't get what I wanted.
Yeah, you're bummed out. I mean, Cena told us that he's going to ruin wrestling. And you've been talking about it for the entire build to WrestleMania. Did you know that this is what ruining wrestling would look and feel like?
No, but that's a great question. Because that's what I was saying. Everybody's like, oh, how fun is this with John Cena? And I'm like, he's telling you, he's Babe Ruth pointing out into the field, telling you exactly where he's going to hit the ball. Telling you exactly where he's going to hit the ball. Yeah. And you want to be like, oh, let's cheer for him. Let's cheer for him, ironically. Let's go against the grain. Let's have fun with this. No. He's telling you what he's going to do. And then you go, oh, I can't believe it went this way. Oh, you can't? You did it.
He literally told you.
He told you.
He told Cody, too.
And then he does it. I found myself going in there going like, listen, if you listen to what's being said, for God's sakes. Cody, we had a conversation last night about, Seth and Roman and Punk and their perspectives on what they've done for the industry and kind of, who is the most important and who. And we had a healthy debate about that.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I was a little toxic, but it was pretty much a healthy debate because that is a healthy debate.
Yeah, it is.
Right. But then if you go to tonight and you look at John Cena and Cody Rhodes, it's not a healthy debate at all for you to be like, no, it's better if John Cena wins. How?
Did anybody leave?
I don't know. I know how I felt leaving. But there's a tried and true tradition in professional wrestling of being like, yeah, I'll come back to do right by others so that the business may exponentially grow. And if each generation does this, then guess what? The industry grows and grows and grows, and it gets better for everybody.
My work here is done.
And then John Cena goes, first he says, you know what nobody's ever done? Announce they're going to retire a year in advance and say, this is my retirement year. You know what nobody's ever done? Announce this is my last Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, right? Nobody's ever done that, and that's true. But I don't recall too many people coming in and going like, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to act selfishly. I'm going to take for myself. Because I gave in the beginning of my career, now that I have reached my zenith, now that I'm at my most powerful, now that I am, my stock has risen to a level so astronomically high that I would argue there's maybe only one man that understands what that rare air feels like, and he's the final boss. That once I've gotten to that level, instead of giving back, I prefer to take. Now I would like to take.
Well, you brought up the final boss, and obviously the final boss was a part of John Cena becoming a villain.
Yes.
Do you think the final boss is involved in what we saw tonight in some way, shape, or form?
Well, sure. I mean, based on what we know, based on what we've been told, based on the story that's in front of us, clearly the final boss has a problem with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And whether that is related to John Cena or not, we can only wildly speculate upon. Travis Scott came out, and that's the final boss's boy.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't exactly know to what degree this stuff is going. And I mean, and that's where we leave WrestleMania Night 2. What the hell is going on? What happens next? Because John Cena, in his final year, has won the WWE Championship, and he's done it in a way where most of us were like, oh, this will be great. It'll be so, and maybe that's part of it, right? In last year, when John Cena announced this, the whole feeling was, we'll all be a part of this wonderful, magical moment. We'll all be a part of history. We're going to get to see this together. And this time, because many times John Cena won the title, a lot of us, and this is John Cena's gripe, booed it. Mm-hmm. This time, we're all together and appreciating John Cena. So what would happen then if he came back and he'd go, yeah, we all get to cheer together. You did it for all of us. You won the 17th title. Well, what if John Cena said, no, I'm going to come to WrestleMania and ruin your day?
So John Cena comes out on Raw or SmackDown or whenever we see John Cena.
Whenever he wants to.
Again. And what do you think how do you think the crowd reacts?
I think it depends on what he says. I think it depends on where he is. I think,
Because Cena got a lot of cheers tonight in the stadium.
Tonight. But there there are also cheers that occur sometimes when people want to witness a historical moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And positive or negative, winning the title for 17th time is an absolutely historical moment.
Yeah.
Positive or negative, this is a WrestleMania main event that will be talked about forever. There's a big difference between witnessing the crowning and now living with the reign. And I think that it will depend on how John Cena handles his reign. I do not think John Cena is going to handle his reign in a way that most of us would be excited about.
I
Because
know he's not going to because he told us he's not going to.
he's called his play every step of the way. And I'm sitting there. I go, Cody. And I went everywhere, Megan. You heard me. You asked me, who do you think's going to win? I go, I'm not Sam. I go, I'm Busted Open. I talk to people in the audience. I go everywhere. Who do you think's going to win? I go, Cody's got to win. Cody's got to win. He's got to win for wrestling. Cody's our guy now. I wanted that. A lot of us wanted it.
I wanted it.
We didn't get it.
No.
Why? Because John Cena's here.
And
Okay?
it was heartbreaking to watch Cody Rhodes walk up the ramp.
Yeah, and I don't understand how, if people were comparing last year's WrestleMania to Avengers Endgame, then how come Thanos showed up this year? Makes no sense to me. But I'll tell you, Megan, it wasn't all troubling news. I was troubled. I'm troubled. I'm troubled now. I was troubled. Okay?
All right, we have to let it go because there were some positive things for both of us.
I know what you're thinking. It was positive for both of us.
Yeah.
And you talk about calling the play. I called this play. And I used my it wasn't because he's my favorite. It wasn't with my heart. It was with my big brain analysis. I called the fact that we would be by the way, do you remember last night I ended the show going, what happens if John Cena wins and Dominic Mysterio also wins? What's my
You
energy going
called
to be
it.
like? This is chaos.
You
I said
predicted
that.
it.
Why'd I say that? You shouldn't have let me say that.
You called your shot. You predicted this WrestleMania. I think you're to blame. Are you the reason that this all happened? Are you the reason that wrestling is ruined?
You gotta stop me from myself sometimes. That's on you. Listen, Dominic Mysterio brought me so much joy today.
He brings you joy every day.
But
today,
I mean, now he's a champion. He's the Intercontinental Champion. He's a favorite of all of us wrestling fans. Dominic Mysterio won the Intercontinental title, and he decided to grace us with the very first interview of Dominic Mysterio as the Intercontinental Champion. We'd like to share that with you. What's going on?
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please respect the WWE Intercontinental Champion?
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
The WWE Intercontinental Champion. Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Look at that thing. The working man's title. The
Congratulations.
workhorse's title. The title
Yes,
given
yes.
to the member of the roster that is simply the best wrestler now belongs to you. Dominic Mysterio, we'll start with this. Is there a message for your haters?
I mean, there was a lot of adrenaline pumping through my veins and my blood right after the match. I said a couple things, but I've cooled down a little bit. I just some people just told me, congratulations, some of the best have held this title. But I'm the best that's ever held this title. I am the greatest living Mysterio of all time. I am the best Intercontinental Champion ever, and it's been 5 minutes, and I'm already the greatest ever.
Yeah.
I'm
dude.
just initially, it's first thoughts.
First thoughts that come to your brain.
I mean, no, you're going to get no arguments from Sam on any of that.
Yeah. Are you going to argue with this? Why
Well,
wouldn't
I
you?
mean, do we want to get into some
Sure,
things? Well,
please, let's do it.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to bring up the fact that you actually lied to Sam and my face on this very show, Raw Recap. We asked you specifically what would happen if the match came down to you and Finn Balor, and you told us you would do firefighter drills. And
It didn't come down to me and Finn Balor. It was Braun.
I mean,
Finn was just,
you
the
stabbed
innocent man in the middle.
Why are you being negative?
Yeah,
I'm just asking a
you're
question
talking to your
because
new Intercontinental Champion.
Yes.
The greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
I just thought you and Finn were brothers, and
That
that,
is-
frog
that-
splash didn't
I've been
exactly
saying
look
it. That's
like.
that's the dad that stepped up. So he was, the way I saw it, Finn was a little bit on there, but like I thought I frog splashed Braun.
Oh, I can see where you would think that.
I was a little blind from the nut shot, but
That'll do that. A
Yeah.
hard nut shot.
a hard nut shot, boom, vision goes blurry.
You
So I
wouldn't
didn't.
know about
I had
that,
no
man.
idea. I had no idea.
Yeah. Look, here's the idea. You
the
are the Intercontinental Champion.
Greatest.
And people have doubted you from the beginning. I think that that even more recently, people have thought of you as this, like, well, kind of a joke. They've laughed at your expense. They were even, I don't know if you heard this, dude. I don't know if you have had a chance to find out. They were laughing at you on commentary when you came out. Did you know that?
They were.
No.
Cole
Why
started
were
it.
they laughing?
Just the
They
way
said-
you took your mask
They said
off.
you. Why'd you
I
say
couldn't
that?
I couldn't get the mask off.
They said that.
You
They
know,
said
you know
that.
why I couldn't get the mask off?
Tell me.
Let me give you a little backstory. Have you ever seen The Mask with Jim Carrey?
Love
Yes.
that movie.
You know how the mask like gives you powers and it's like,
Yep.
right?
Stanley
so
Ipkiss.
I put on the mask because I was like, you know what? I was like, I feel like it's gonna give me some powers, right?
Right.
So I had the mask, felt powerful, but then I was like, nah, I'm Dirty Dom. I don't need to hide my face. I'm the greatest looking Mysterio of all time, greatest living Mysterio of all time. So then I was like, let me take this off. So when I went to take it off, it was like, don't go. It just kept saying culture, history, lucha. And I said, nope, it's time.
Right. Because you're creating your own history,
course.
your own culture.
And all the guys that wear masks, they're all ugly,
Is that it?
right? They're all ugly. That's why they hide their faces. I'm a good looking dude. You know, I don't need to do that. And there's a saying in Spanish that we say, it's el que es guapo es guapo.
Right. If you're handsome, you're handsome. Boom. Boom. What does it feel like? Not many people know the feeling of winning. I mean, the Intercontinental Championship is the title that WWE fans, hardcore wrestling fans, love the Intercontinental Championship, love the legacy of the Intercontinental Championship. To be at WrestleMania in a stadium of tens of thousands of people, to hold up the Intercontinental title that you just won and get that reaction. I saw you went back for seconds. What did it feel like?
How do we have a bleep on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bleep on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt pretty fucking good.
My man.
You know what I'm saying? Because the doubters were saying, "Oh, Dirty Dom ain't about this. Dirty Dom ain't about that. Dirty Dom can't do this." I did it.
Yeah, you did.
You know, and I mean, look at it. It's beautiful.
It
I
is.
I can't even put it into. You want to touch it?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I touch it?
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's a great reference.
That's enough.
Well, Dom, you've
Shout out Uncle K Dog.
That's right.
Nino K Dog.
you've made a lot of people believers in Dominic Mysterio, and one of those was shown celebrating your victory. George Kittle, a known Penta fan, whenever he scores the touchdown,
That's right.
he does Cero Miedo, and he was cheering on his feet for Dominic Mysterio. Have you turned him from
I
a
mean-
Penta fan to a Dom fan?
Everybody loves Dom. Everybody wants some of Dirty Dom. Like, it's crazy, right? Like you were saying. They were laughing at me on commentary, but stepped it up. George Kittle, big Penta guy, right?
Yeah,
he
huge.
does the bien pendejo in
Is that
the
what that means?
Yeah.
in the. That's not what he does.
I don't know. I didn't know that's what that meant.
Yeah, bien pendejo penta.
I didn't know.
So I mean, maybe if I have a little sit down with George Kittle, tell him I'll go to a Niner game. If he scores a touchdown, I'll be right there. I'll hand him the title.
Really?
I'll hand him
Wow.
the title. I've been a well-known 49er fan.
Yeah.
You know, ever since I born and raised in San Diego. I was Cali kid all my life. Chargers left. They left us. So what did I do? I said, I'm gonna pick another team.
Right.
So I stuck in Cali.
Right.
49ers.
Wow.
And you picked a winning team, and you know what George Kittle might have done?
What did you do?
Pick
Picked
a winning team. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
So I'm really
Does
glad.
that feel good? That's yours, dude.
This is mine, dude.
Dom, I'm really glad we got it cleared up about the
Yes.
frog splash, and you thought that you were pinning Braun Breaker, but
Did you want to touch it a little bit?
yeah, that'd be good.
Too bad.
All right. Well, there was a moment when you hit the 619 though on Finn Balor. What?
yeah.
How can you explain that at all?
I don't recall that moment.
Oh, you don't.
I think it was No, I don't remember that.
Okay.
There's a lot of adrenaline pumping.
I hit my head pretty hard at one point in the match,
Oh,
so
sorry.
Might
I
have
might
been
have
another nut.
might have gone wobbled.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All I
And
know-
I mean,
All that matters is that I won.
wow.
That I am the new Intercontinental Champion, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, and it's only been 10 minutes.
Did you celebrate with the Judgment Day at all?
Of course, Liv was the first person I saw coming out of Gorilla.
Okay.
Liv and Raquel, first people.
You
Yeah.
you have been, right, from the very beginning associated with other people, whether it was your father in the very beginning of your career, whether it was the Judgment Day more recently. In that moment, that your WrestleMania moment, you stood on the ropes alone. Did that feel like special in a sense that you had accomplished this thing? I mean, we talked about it. I had you 2 days ago. I was talking to you at the Comedy Cellar here in Vegas, and we were talking about this being the first WrestleMania that you weren't associated with your dad or a family member or whatever it is, and now you stand alone as the Intercontinental Champion. Did you like that you could do that alone?
I mean, are you kidding me? Look at the outcome,
Right.
right? Every single time I was 0-3 at WrestleMania. Now, no matter what I am, your boy's a champion. That's what matters. And honestly, it just felt right.
Yeah.
You know, it felt right. It felt like I was right where I belonged.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, winning runs in my veins. I
Right.
mean, I'm a natural born champion.
Yeah.
I am. It is what it is. But, like, this feels right. And I will do my very best to hold on to this as long as possible.
Are you going to defend it a lot?
What?
Okay.
Oh.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's not the question for right now. Anyway,
You got tenders?
Yeah, bro. I know.
Yeah, give me some Wingstop tenders.
Yeah.
Some
we
house
have. I mean,
ranch.
by the way, how did we not have those prepared?
How do we
knew.
not have some motherfucking Wingstop tenders?
That's right.
Ready for your boy
Effing
with some
tenders.
house ranch.
Charles,
This
get
is-
to catering now.
Charles, this is
Charles.
crazy. I am the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
And by
It's been 10 minutes. Don't cut me off, Sam.
my bad.
Please.
No, that's my
You
bad.
should know better.
I know.
It's been 10 minutes. No 10. You know what? I don't want to get my hopes up, but I want to say Liv probably has some ready for me, so it's good that I don't eat here. I'll get my stomach full from your guys' shitty tenders because it's probably not Wingstop. So
It's really big of Liv because she has a match of her own to
of
prepare
course, but she wants the best for her daddy Dom.
Yeah.
And I
Did
want
you-
the best for her.
That's nice.
And that would be, I mean, she walks out of Mania with her title and Raquel.
She's
That's
gonna-
more
she's gonna
gold for
walk
the
out.
Judgment
She's
Day.
gonna walk out with gold.
And do you think, it's all about the Judgment Day and bringing gold home to the Judgment Day? Do you think Finn is going to be happy to see that there's gold in the locker
Finn
room?
this, Finn that. Finn shouldn't care. We have gold in the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
That's what matters,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Come on, Megan, don't get hot.
I'm-
yeah.
All right? I'm just letting you know how it is.
Yeah. I told you guys, by the way, that Dominic was going to win. You should have had some tenders
Yeah.
earlier in the day because I did tell you he was going to win.
Yeah.
To be fair, do you realize? I mean, have you fully considered the fact that at this young age in your career, you've had a WrestleMania moment? I mean, you've had great things. We talked about your WrestleMania entrance 2 years ago. But this is one of those when the camera pans out and you see the audience. And by the way, they were cheering. They were erupting.
I heard a little dirty Dom, dirty Dom. Just
Yeah.
saying. I heard it.
That's one of those forever moments. That's one of those things that people are going to remember. Have you considered that, like, your legacy building?
Are you kidding me?
Hmm?
I said this to you a couple days ago, right? Everyone always said, "You're never gonna get out of your dad's shadows. You're never gonna, fill in his footsteps." It's been 4 years, almost 5. This is my 4th WrestleMania. I've had WrestleMania moments. Great, possibly one of the greatest WrestleMania entrances of all time at WrestleMania 39. And now, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And it's only been 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. How do you think your Intercontinental title matches are going to measure up to the history of that championship? I mean, Eddie Guerrero was a great Intercontinental champion who had great Intercontinental title matches. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, all great Intercontinental champions.
The only great you mentioned in that was Eddie Guerrero. And to be honest, I'm better than everyone. I'm better than everyone that's held this title.
Right.
That what do you think it means when I say I am the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, and it's only been 12 minutes?
12 and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that means every single person that's ever held this title, I'm better than them in every way, shape, and form. Like how old were these fossils when they won this title?
You talking about Brett and Jhon?
Everybody who's won this title.
They weren't your age, I don't think.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Although I do think Braun was the youngest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Braun's youngest Intercontinental. Whatever. This
that.
was his first Mania. I took his title. This is my fourth Mania, and we're basically the same age.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I'm 10 times better than that dude. Clearly, do I like? Are you guys,
You're the one with the title.
No, I mean, you took his title.
A lot of people say.
Good job, Megan. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of people say that the Intercontinental Championship can be a gateway into contention for the World Heavyweight Championship. Are you looking at it that way?
Well,
Look at that visual, by the way. There it is.
give me a sec. Let's get the mullet out of here. Ooh.
Man, it is, looking at you right now. And if you're just listening, you can watch on YouTube, because when you look at Dirty Dominic Mysterio with the Intercontinental Championship, can I tell you the truth? I can't picture what it looked like without the championship.
I made this championship.
The Intercontinental?
I made this championship. What it is, the importance of it. I made this championship.
It's only been 13 minutes, dude.
Are you sure? I think it's been like 14.
It may have been 14. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping track
You're
of
on your
that.
Steiner math, dude.
Yeah, well,
Get your brain checked.
Dom, is this the greatest moment of your career?
Other than SummerSlam last year, yes.
Remember SummerSlam last year?
Oh, I remember. How could we forget?
Yeah. That also resulted in gold, by the way. But, Dirty Dom, we want to thank you for giving us time, for bestowing upon us the honor of being the first to state that you are the new Intercontinental Champion. I mean, this is history. What a great moment. To me, it was asked to me, where does this rank for you, Sam Roberts, who has sung the praises of Dominic Mysterio for, years at this point? Where does this rank in the top moments in WWE history? And I put this as a solid number 2.
What would be number 1?
Number 1 was when you were in the back of that police car and you said you'll never make it in jail. That was number 1.
I'll take that.
That was number 1. That was a good moment, too. But look at this. Dominic Mysterio cleaning up the leaderboard.
We're done here?
We're done here. Go party like a champion. There it is.
The greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Dirty or daddy. Whatever you want to call it. I am your greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Megan, write that down. Sam,
I already know.
you're welcome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic Mysterio. Give it
The
up.
champ, baby.
Give it up.
The champ. I
was
told
like-
you he was going to win.
That was like your third interview with him this week?
Yeah.
It might be getting a little creepy.
No, it's not.
Little
He's news breaking,
A little
man.
bit creepy.
He's news breaking.
Your number one moment of all time?
Yeah.
Did you ever think that man in the back of that police car would end up being the Intercontinental Champion?
Yes, I did. Now I think
did?
world champion too, but we'll see. Well, let's just celebrate what we've got.
Okay.
All right. Doesn't that feel like poetic justice that not only Dominic Mysterio won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, but first interview is on WrestleMania Recap? I mean, come on, we're so lit.
We are lit, and it was a big get for us. This is your
Huge.
third time interviewing him this week, so I don't know if it's
Okay,
gotten
so-
old yet, but
No.
I do have a question for you about Dom moving forward.
Okay.
Do you think
By the way,
this-
can you already see?
you're
I'm so
beaming?
much better now.
Yes.
I feel so much better.
This is how we need to keep you for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
That's in the past.
Yeah. If I get the VHS tape of WrestleMania 41, just know that when you would rent an R-rated movie from Blockbuster and the scene that you weren't supposed to watch, like the tape was worn down because people kept rewinding and playing and rewinding and playing. That's me when Dominic Mysterio wins the Intercontinental
Listen, I don't know if our
Championship.
younger audience is going to understand that reference.
You guys
but-
don't use VHS tapes?
I mean, Dominic referred to all of the former Intercontinental Champions as dinosaurs, so I think, you're
Brett.
aging yourself a little here.
Okay, I don't want
You gotta
Dominic
be-
to think
Well, you
that.
got to be young, cool, and lit again.
I
okay?
forgot I said lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were asking me.
Oh, anyways, do you think that this is the end of the Judgment Day as we know it? I know Dom said that
No,
Liv
bro,
was
they got
there to
gold.
celebrate, but I don't know. We did see Dom hit the 619 on Finn, and I don't know. We didn't see.
I
we
have to
didn't
go back
see
to the tape
Dom
on
and
that
Liv
because
together.
Dom didn't
and they
remember.
don't have the gold because
don't
Liv
worry.
and Raquel lost the gold.
I don't know anything about that. I know that you got the Intercontinental Championship in your stable. The last thing you want to do, if I'm friends with a guy and then he becomes the Intercontinental Champion, now we're best friends. When that title comes home,
So if you're Finn, you're gonna be best friends with him.
listen,
Even after he hit the 619 on you.
you're in a fatal four-way. It becomes every man for himself.
Mm-hmm.
We knew. I mean, Dominic Mysterio is he said it, the greatest Mysterio. He's got a fighting spirit. He had to fight his way out of that mask. We know that he's got that inside of him. He's in a fatal four-way match. These things happen. I would hope that Finn Balor doesn't take it personally. Look, is Finn Balor going to stay in the Judgment Day? I don't know. It depends on if he's thinking with his head or his heart. I could see him getting a little hurt by the fact that Dominic Mysterio pinned him and got the Intercontinental Championship. But logically, you kind of want the IC champion close to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, you do have to keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. I don't know if they're exactly enemies, but
Frenemies.
why wouldn't you want to have the champion close to you?
Yeah, especially because, champions know how to get championships. It just
Well, it
feels-
was also interesting that Dom didn't give us a clear-cut answer on if he's going to defend the title often.
That's true, but at the same time, that was like the conversation that I prefer not to bring up again. But the conversation we had with the New Day, where it's not incumbent on a champion to find challengers. It is incumbent on challengers to present themselves as worthy enough to challenge for that title. Also, Dominic Mysterio had just won the Intercontinental title 8, 10, 12, and then eventually 14 minutes ago. So
I'm
maybe
not
he
sure
didn't-
how great his timekeeping was.
It seemed
but
great to me.
All right.
But I wasn't timing him. But no, I think it really was a legitimately incredible moment. I think if you look at Dominic Mysterio and people get real caught up in maybe some of the behaviors that others, not me, you would describe as obnoxious, but realistically, when Dominic Mysterio showed up and he was teaming with his dad, and he had his first singles match against Seth Rollins, and he was just literal, I say baby face, not in vernacular, but literally his face looked like that of a baby.
He looked like a child.
Right, with his short, close-cropped hair.
oh, this
and
is
his bright
nice.
colors. Right, nice.
Ray's-
Bright colors, yeah.
You know, if anyone's son deserves it, it's Ray.
It's Ray's. It's
Let
Ray.
Ray have this time with his son.
And they even go to WrestleMania, face Logan Paul and The Miz together. It's this whole thing. But there were a lot of people who didn't, they said, he's got a great work ethic. He's got great
Go get
genetics.
him.
Go get him.
You'll never be what your father was, but we'd like to see you try.
And most fans didn't give him the time of day.
This is true.
And he just kept working and working and working. And while he was distracting you over here with a mullet and a mustache and making out with this one and making out with that one.
And going to prison.
And going to prison, all of a sudden, he rose up in the ranks where he becomes the Intercontinental Champion. And you want to talk about crowd reactions tonight? He got cheered
He did.
because it was something.
And it was a moment.
A thing. It was a moment. Look, when you talk about potential challengers, I don't think Dominic even wants to think about that. Because in a fatal four-way match, your best bet is to avoid Braun Breaker at all costs. If Braun Breaker decides he would really prefer to have the Intercontinental Championship back, Dominic's got some heavy thinking to do.
I mean, can we just talk about the spear that Braun delivered from one announce table to the other announce table?
Oh, he's incredible. Yeah, I thought it was a great showing. It was great to see Finn Balor in a WrestleMania match like that. It was amazing to see Penta in a WrestleMania match with that whole entrance with the flame shooting off the top. And, I mean, just looking like he absolutely belongs. And then to see Braun Breaker just, like, get better and better. I thought, that Fatal 4-Way, for me, best match of the night was either the Fatal 4-Way or the Triple Threat that opened the show, which we'll talk about in a moment. But we should also talk about somebody that I know you were waiting to come back. I was excited, but not Morant level excited.
No, you weren't. And I don't know if we've ever had an opportunity to talk about this on any one of our podcasts because we've been waiting. Well, I have been waiting for her return. Heading into the Royal Rumble, I looked at you and said, do you think she's going to come back?
And I said, there's not 31 entrants, Megan. They're all in there. You said, no, she's got to come back.
She has to come back.
Then maybe they'll do 31?
At the Elimination Chamber, when Naomi was taken out by Jade Cargill, I said, do you think Becky Lynch's music is going to hit and she's going to come out? We need Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. You're like, no, I don't think that's how it works. I think Naomi is taken out. I so badly have wanted Becky Lynch to return to my life, and today we got that moment, and it was incredible. And I just think it's poetic that it happened in Vegas because the last time Becky Lynch made her return, it happened in Vegas as well. But how cool for Lyra Valkyria, a woman who grew up idolizing Becky Lynch, to share the ring with her, walk out as a double champion.
Double champion for Lyra Valkyria. Yeah, no, it was amazing. And you talk about moments and you talk about reactions when Becky's music hit. And she's got one of those great themes that starts with the minute it clicks in, you know exactly what it is.
Yep.
Cena has that too. Cody has it too. But Roman has it. But the minute it hits, whoa.
You're on your feet.
You're on your feet. And Las Vegas was on their feet. She got a massive reaction. She comes out as the man. It was like classic Becky Lynch. You've got to understand.
I mean, the cameras cut to fans in the stands that were crying.
You're right.
Crying.
You're right.
This is the kind of emotion that the man makes people feel.
And, I mean, Becky, I don't even know if she gets enough credit for the fact that the man, when that first rise of the man, Becky Lynch, I would argue she was quite literally the top superstar, regardless of gender, in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a remarkable feat that she has, to see her come out. And not only does the music play, not only does the screen say the man on it, but she looks like the man. That's the look that we all remember from the rise of Becky. Are you just thinking about it and getting
just like
gleeful?
her body language,
Yes.
the way she walks to the ring, the
Right.
way, she puts her hand up for the crowd. It's everything about it is so cool. It's so badass.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's a confidence that feels like you want it. It's not a confidence that is obnoxious.
No.
It's a confidence that goes, you're so my role model right now.
Yeah, I look at it. I want to be you.
Yes. Well, we can't be Becky Lynch because there's only one the man. But we said this Megan Morant is obsessed with Becky Lynch. I am fascinated by the whole story of Becky Lynch. She comes back at WrestleMania. Keep in mind, yesterday Bayley is attacked. It's revealed on the countdown, I believe is where it was revealed. But Bayley, or maybe it was whatever. Bayley gets attacked. She is now out of WrestleMania. We have no idea whether that was Liv and Raquel. We I don't know.
We still don't know.
She's found attacked in the halls of this stadium. Becky comes back. Lyra and Becky win the women's tag team championship. Lyra's a double champion. And as soon as they get out of gorilla position, Megan, you say, Sam, we got to go talk to him right now. I said, okay, Megan, if you think it's a good idea. You said, it's not a good idea. It's a great idea.
That's right.
And we went right up to him with our microphones as soon as the new tag team champions were out of the gorilla position, backstage at WrestleMania. And this is another first. The first interview with the new tag team champions, Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. It is with great pleasure that I welcome to the WrestleMania recap the new women's tag team champions,
Double.
Lyra, 2 belts.
Lyra,
2 belts.
And
yes.
the newly returned, the man, Becky Lynch. Becky, Lyra, how exactly did this come about?
Well, the man has come around to Vegas. Well, you saw what happened to Bailey yesterday. And so Lyra was given 24 hours to find herself a new partner. And, well, I was in town, you know. There was the Hall of Fame. I was supporting my main event husband, Seth freaking Rollins. Stole the goddamn show yesterday. Can I say goddamn?
Yes, you can.
GD. I'm in the moment. And, Lyra asked, and I stepped up, and here I am.
You recently said you were at an improv comedy show. You said you might come back to wrestling, but you might not. People said she may not come back. And days later, weeks later, whatever it was, you're back.
A week later.
Was that Lyra's influence?
Yeah. Look, I told Lyra when I left, I said, look, you're my biggest hope. You are my biggest hope for the future. I said that to her. I said that to several people. I said, this girl is the one that's going to take us from where we already are, which is just heights we could have never imagined when I started. We could have never imagined. And this is the girl to take us beyond that. And so if she's going to ask me for a favor, well, then I'm going to step by her side, because I know that this woman is so dedicated. She is so dedicated. She works so hard. I am so freaking proud of her. And to be here on her first WrestleMania, to capture gold with her, to see her stand here as Lyra 2 belts, man. Oh, just, get them slap arms, it's just, it feels really good, and it felt right. So,
Lyra, what is
she
this
needs
like?
me, I'll be here.
Lyra, what is this like for you? You grew up looking up to Becky Lynch, and you stand next to her at WrestleMania with 2 belts on your shoulder, and you heard what she said. You are her hope for this industry.
Well, if there wasn't already a weight on my shoulders, no, that's I now carry the weight and responsibility of living up to Becky's hopes for me, but I'm already carrying the responsibility of being the first ever women's intercontinental champion. I want to do right by this title. Now I'm the first ever women's intercontinental and tag team champion. Not the first person to hold 2 championships, but I feel like I'm following in the right footsteps. So I feel like I just completed a massive life goal.
And you're only 1 year on the main roster, so here we go.
Yes.
And
Here we
you've
go.
had a moment.
Sky's
You've had a
the limit.
WrestleMania moment. The minute you walked out on stage with the wings, with the white and the gold, it was like, it felt like a moment for you to show the world what you're capable of. You, the same Becky Lynch, obviously. How did you know, or what gave you the feeling that now was the time for not big time Becks, not any of the other Becky Lynches that we've known, but for the man to return?
Well, I had no time. Had no time to prepare, so I had to grab what was ever in my closet, and here we go. But no, man, this is about getting down to the grassroots, right? Back to stripping it all back to the basics, because that's what she's all about, man. She's all about heart, all about passion, all about soul, and that's why that audience continues to cheer me, because they know that's what I'm about. So, so when it comes down to just the thing that's in here, it doesn't matter about all the extras,
I do know.
Lyra, to the girl who started wrestling back in Ireland, looking up to Becky Lynch, could you have ever imagined that you would be standing here right now experiencing this moment?
Honestly, I've done nothing but imagine it, but up until now, I always say it doesn't really hit me where I'm at when I think it will, when I won this. But I walked out there, and every little bit of where I was and what I was doing hit me straight away. And that final bell rang, double champs, it hit me all over again. I felt everything, every single emotion you could possibly imagine, and you really couldn't write it. I couldn't picture a better moment right here.
And so now we got to go get a few shots of Jameson in us and celebrate the night.
I'm not a whiskey drinker, but we'll
Oh,
work on
right,
it.
yeah.
We'll
We'll work on it. She still has some
The
stuff.
man is back.
The man has come back around.
Lyra is a double champ.
Heck yeah.
Only at WrestleMania. Thank you, champs.
See, this is why Becky's the best.
She really
This is why she's the best. She's accomplished everything you can accomplish, and she comes back to help out Lyra Valkyria.
Well, and it does go to your point, and that was a great question that you asked Lyra, of like, how does it realistically feel? Not only to have Becky do that for Lyra, but then in our interview to have her express the fact that, no, this is the one.
I mean, Becky was saying she was getting I was getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
It was
Awesome.
amazing.
It was awesome. Well, look, we just got an update as we're taping this podcast. right after WrestleMania. So the press conference going on at the same time. We just heard that John Cena took off both of Cody's side plates on the WWE Championship. He, of course, he offered to answer questions. And what did we want?
We wanted an answer. We wanted to know why.
And so what did we not get?
We didn't get an answer.
Right. So he goes, that sounds like a... I mean, come on. Put the pieces together. So he says, that sounds like a clickbait question. That sounds like a clickbait question. He gives us nothing. But he says he will be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night to explain how he's going to ruin wrestling. Luckily, Megan, you and I ain't going nowhere. We will also be in Las Vegas tomorrow night for a Raw recap in person.
Yes.
So the feelings will be flowing. We will be there. Make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast on all audio platforms and on YouTube. Make sure you keep checking it. We're going 3 days in a row. Tomorrow, after Raw, in Vegas, at the arena, we will be there to break down everything that John Cena has said or most likely has not
He just
said.
Nick Saban'd everybody. Quit asking. Quit asking, all right?
Yes, he did, Megan.
He did.
That's exactly what he did. But his cohort, Travis Scott, actually did do something awesome for all of us wrestling fans.
Wasn't all bad.
Before tonight. Everything before tonight was fine. Look, I'm a Travis. Look, I've been wearing these all.
You've been saging. You've been walking
I told
around
you yesterday. I
saging.
sage everything. I've been wearing these. Look at, they're all worn out. I've been
They
wearing
don't
them
even
everywhere.
smell because you saged them.
Exactly. I saged them. But of course, Travis Scott, Cactus Jack, dropped a line of collaborative merchandise with WWE. I'm talking T-shirts. I'm talking hoodies. Even the championship that he wore, the updated modern hardcore championship title that he wore to the ring tonight, that he's worn to the ring at Elimination Chamber. The replica of that is now available for sale. It's got Legends tees, The Rock, Steve Austin, DX, Triple H, John Cena, of course. I believe there is a Cactus Jack WWE, Cactus Jack Travis Scott, WWE Travis Scott, Cactus Jack collaboration. It's really, really cool merch. We were talking about it yesterday. I did grab the T-shirts from here. That's how much I believe in the product. You can check it out for yourself at
You just
fanatics.com.
ratted yourself out. They were looking for those.
I'm kidding. You can check it out for yourself at fanatics.com and, of course, WWE shop. I would recommend it. It really is like, I mean, well, you've seen it. We were showing you yesterday. You can see the Roman Reigns shirt behind us. Hit hard, hit often. Grab it up now. I will also say that Travis Scott did something really, really exciting. He collaborated with WWE and with Topps Chrome. We all know I love Topps Chrome, okay? That has been established. You talk about fiend. I'm a box-breaking fiend at this point.
Are we about to break a box?
Travis Scott, you think we should break it? Travis Scott
I don't
dropped
know.
these.
I feel uncomfortable because typically you break boxes with Triple H. And
I know.
I'm not Triple H.
No, you're not, but you're great, too.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, my friends. Triple H, Megan Morant, these are my friends. What can I tell you? But he dropped this set of cards, especially for WrestleMania. It's a collab with Travis Scott and with Cactus Jack, Travis Scott's design branch, of course. It's got champion inserts inside, autograph cards from superstars like The Rock, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and it can be purchased by WWE World attendees. There are daily drops April 17th through the 21st. You can learn more at Topps.com. And if you're not at WWE World, check out Fanatics Live for card breaks with superstars and celebrities.
And
me.
and Triple H.
We are not, you and I may not be superstars or celebrities, but we also have a box. Now, I must warn you, usually when I break boxes, I use the same knife on all boxes. I realize that would have been a problem with TSA. So I do not have that exact knife here. However, we're going to break this box. These are the Travis Scott.
You're going to just use a pen?
No, I'm going to use the cap
Okay,
of a
please
pen.
be careful.
Yeah, no. I know what, Megan, I know what I'm doing. These are the Cactus Jack WWE WrestleMania exclusive edition.
Exclusive.
Topps Chrome. Wasn't funny the way she did that. I don't know why you're laughing. All right, we got our 2 packs. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Can I do one?
No, well, we got to do it together.
Okay.
This is how this
okay,
works.
okay.
Numbered parallels in here, autographs. I don't know what we're going to get. So let's see. Okay. Ooh, that's a good one to start.
Oh.
We got
Bret the Hitman
Bret
Hart.
the Hitman Hart. What do we got? Okay. Penta. I'm happy with Penta. Yeah, there you go. Zero miedo
We have
indeed.
to ask George Kittle if he's Penta guy or Dominic Mysterio.
I know.
guy. We
He's
need
got an answer for
clarification.
that for
I
sure.
know.
We have, okay, we got a little something there. Sami Zayn.
Love it.
Look at that. We got a refractor Sami Zayn. This is an out of 10 Sami Zayn.
What?
Out of 10 Sami Zayn. Did you see that? Out of 10 Sami Zayn.
Craig just perked up over
yeah,
there.
because he knows I'm black. Look at that. Out of 10 Sami Zayn. And then we got another out of 20 AJ Styles in the same pack.
Alan.
AJ Styles out of 20. Look at that. That was a great pack. Okay. We are, yeah, that's exactly right. It comes in this box. That's very, very smart. They're going back in that box, and I'm definitely going to return it. Let's see what's in our second pack. Oh. Let's see. By the way, Craig, you created a monster when you introduced me to this world. It's bad.
You're addicted.
Yeah. Okay. We have, we got something good there. We have Ludwig Kaiser.
Love it.
We have L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
There it was. Oh, look at that.
2.
We got another L.A. Knight. This one is out of 25. L.A. Knight out of 25. And, Alexa Bliss out of 50. Alexa Bliss out of 50. Look at that. We kind of cleaned up on these, huh?
We did.
This is a good box. Wow. Okay. Well,
I'm sure those will be returned.
they're going to be returned. Please don't tell Triple H about it. He'll probably go like, why don't you open those with me? I'm putting those back very, very carefully so I can return them in good condition, of course.
Absolutely.
You know what? I'll probably just save the empty packs, too. You got to save everything. These are limited edition. This is a great set. And we'll just...
You're going to save the plastic as
we'll
well?
just return those. So anyway, it was a wild WrestleMania. They're returned now. Consider the cards returned.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll tell you what. You talk about moments at WrestleMania. You talk about merch that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
How about the fact that there is merch that reflects this, that in the year of our Lord, 2025.
It's the year of our Lord.
Yes, it is. And you know how I know it's the year of our Lord? Because Randy Orton comes to the ring. And he says, I'd love my mystery opponent, please. Kevin Owens is unfortunately on the shelf right now due to injury. He's like, I'm here for my mystery opponent. And the world, I didn't hear it, but apparently the world said his name. And he appeared. I believe in Joe Hendry. I could not believe it.
Now that's a moment. That is a WrestleMania
It's a mega moment. On what planet? By the way, just in broad terms, the world champion of a different wrestling organization. This is a different WWE. 24 hours ago, they're over here going like, hey, check out AAA and doing all this stuff about AAA. Today, the world champion of TNA Wrestling is Randy Orton's opponent at WrestleMania, and he comes out, of
With
course,
the belt.
wearing the TNA Championship. Wild, wild times. The whole stadium knew exactly what the assignment was. They went nuts. They said his name. They sang along.
And we got one of the best WrestleMania moments when Joe Hendry turns his head to the camera and immediately gets hit with an RKO.
You know what it was? He stuck the chin out. He stuck the chin out. When he turned at the camera, he stuck the chin out.
He does it perfectly.
And but when anybody sticks a chin out around Randy Orton, he's got a spidey sense. He's like, oh, I could drop them where they stand. You stick your chin out, and guess what? It ends up under Randy's shoulder, and you're getting RKO'd, whether it's out of somewhere or out of nowhere. That's where it's coming from, and it's exactly what happened. Not only did Joe Hendry get RKO'd because he turned around and did his fun thing for the people, but then Randy helped him up to go like, hey, you did good, and RKO'd him again.
It was great because you hear his music, you say his name, he appears. It's an unbelievable entrance, and as Joe Hendry is making his way to the ring, we all realize that we are going to get treated to such a beautiful RKO, and it delivered, and then we got the second RKO.
So it was
and
almost
that's
like
really what we wanted.
It was almost like you knew what the pose was, obviously, and you were like you wanted the RKO out of the pose.
Yes.
I love that.
Because I'm happy that I get to sing the song.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I get to see the pose.
Right.
And I'm thrilled that I get to see the RKOs.
It just really is also so funny that Randy Orton is at this place right now where he's hearing the voices again. He's becoming very venomous again, like a viper, you know? And who comes out to answer the challenge? Not some brooding, mean, oh boy, like the happiest world champion that's ever existed. Big smile across his face.
Of course.
Going all over the place.
He believes.
London and Paris and Tokyo. Unfortunately, he's not going home with a W over Randy Orton, but he did have a WrestleMania moment. We are living in a reality where Joe Hendry has had a WrestleMania moment. So one time for TNA champion, Joe Hendry.
Look, you can lose a title, but you can't ever have a moment taken away from you.
That's right.
A WrestleMania moment.
That's right.
Staying with you forever.
That's right. London and
Oh.
Paris and RKO. That's why Joey A with the sports always has it.
Oh,
He
that's a
nailed it
good
again.
one.
He nailed it again, this guy. I wish I had thought of it. I'm very upset.
Yeah, you're going to have to come out with the Joe Hendry remix.
I know. It's amazing, which you'll get writing credit on.
Yes.
Speaking of moments, I said it, and I still haven't figured out. You know, obviously the Fatal 4-Way for me is weighted because I loved the result so much. But, man, that women's triple threat match delivered.
It was epic.
It was so good.
An all-timer.
An all-timer for sure. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky. You said to me, is it an overstatement to say?
This is one of the greatest women's matches we've ever seen.
And I said, you know, you got to give it a minute. You don't want recency bias to affect, but you don't sound silly to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a silly thought. These three went in there. And
Well, and we had a lot of questions heading into this match.
Sure,
it
sure,
was
sure.
like, is anybody going to get booed?
sure.
And we wondered that.
Yeah.
And I just think it was, you know, no one was booed during their entrance whatsoever.
No.
But we got to see Io Sky have, again, we talk about WrestleMania moments, this unbelievable finish where she silenced all the doubters, if there were any.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think they were in the crowd, but she was overlooked. She was
Io was.
overlooked by Bianca. She was overlooked by Rhea Ripley in this build. And I loved watching Io Sky walk away on top.
And it was almost like, what is Io's championship reign if she were to lose?
Yeah.
You know, you hear that word transitional champion thrown around. But if Io wins the championship between the Chamber and WrestleMania, and then by the time you get to WrestleMania, really her first massive title defense, she doesn't retain. It's almost like, oh, was that a dream?
Yeah, and I think we talked about this on Raw Recap. It felt like Io had the most to gain and the most to lose in this match.
Right. The most to lose being the championship.
Yes.
The most to gain being the solidification of the championship reign. And this idea that you can't look past her. I think on commentary, Michael Cole might have said that she had not won a WrestleMania match previous to this. And this time it was a triple threat, meaning two opponents, meaning no champion's advantage. And she still was able to win. And what I found fascinating, and I mean top to bottom, this match was out of this world.
Yeah, it was.
But what I found fascinating was it was, I thought, a mistake when I saw Rhea Ripley stop Io and then go for Bianca, I said, Rhea, you left Io on the top turnbuckle. Rhea had Io, worse for wears, but she was still up in the sky. That's the genius of the sky,
You
Rhea.
can't
Don't
leave
if
her.
you're gonna get Io down, you gotta put Io down on the ground. She wasn't on the ground. She found a little bit of strength. She went flying through the air and was able to get the W. Io Sky, still your women's world champion.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I think it also adds a lot of credence to this idea that, like, look, we talk about stars in the women's division and how competitive it is and all and how much so many of these women have done. But the fact is that bell to bell, in between the ropes, Io Sky is potentially the best women's wrestler on the roster. And I think it's almost like you get to a point where it's like, you could say that, but prove it. And Io goes, okay, bet.
Yeah.
And she proved it.
Not just, she proved it when she won the title from Rhea, and no one expected it, and
No
she
one.
doubled down at WrestleMania.
And do you think people expected her to win this one?
This was a tough one to call.
It was a tough one to call.
Very tough. But I don't think people were surprised that she won the same way they were surprised when she defeated Rhea after Elimination Chamber.
I think they were happy she won.
Yes.
I really think they were.
Yeah.
And I think it was a moment, we were talking about Tops a minute ago, but we were talking last night about the Tops Now cards that they do. And I love this because it takes that specific moment in time. For big shows like WrestleMania, they will make cards of specific moments from that show and make those cards available for a limited time.
Mm-hmm.
You can order as many as you want, but after, a very limited amount of time, they're gone, never to be released again. And if you're very, very lucky, some of them will come with maybe a 1-of-1 autograph, maybe a 1-of-5 parallel. The same way we found a 1-of-10 Sami Zayn. You can get those on the Tops Now cards. But you wonder, like last night, we found out there was going to be a Jey Uso Tops card. I saw that Tops Now put out a card of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman together.
And it was autographed by both.
Well, one person. That's how these work. Wait till I tell you this. You order the card. One person who orders a card will randomly get the dual signed autograph. So you go, you order this card, you order 10 of them, you order 1,000 of whatever you want to do. And one of the cards will be signed. And one person will be lucky enough to get it.
And that's why box breaks are so fun.
That's why they're so fun. We saw breathtaking moments all through night 2 of WrestleMania. Tops Now is releasing a card to commemorate John Cena's victory. There will be a John Cena, I just won the 17th championship card. And look, you can be happy, you can be sad, but what did we say at the very beginning? We saw a historical moment. That's why fans were cheering.
Yep.
People love being there for history. Now there will be a limited edition card based on that historical moment, and one of those cards will be autographed. There will be a 1-of-1 John Cena signed 17th
He's going to do
championship card. He is going to do.
Okay.
But you know why? Because while one person will be thrilled, many, many more will not be. They'll be bummed that they didn't get the autograph. They'll be happy they got the card, but they'll wish that they got the autograph. We don't have many details on that John Cena card right now, but stay locked in to @Tops, T-O-P-P-S, Instagram for more info, and scan the QR code below for all the Tops Now cards that are coming in, because there's a handful for every night, for both nights of WrestleMania. We had a big match, and I don't know if there'll be a Tops Now card for it or not. AJ Styles, Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, he was on Raw Recap several weeks ago, and he talked about wanting to beat respect into Logan Paul. First of all, what did you think of the match?
I thought the match was great.
Yeah.
I really
I
enjoyed
think that's
it.
a fair thing. I know you don't want to say it because it's Logan.
It is.
But
That's the thing about Logan Paul. It's like you hate him, but he is fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. He's
And
very
he's
athletic,
good at
and he knows all these
and
great
you
moves.
hate to admit it, but
There was
he is.
there was a lion salt in that match where, like, I'm looking at AJ, right, and he's 3/4 of the way across the ring. I'm like, AJ's gonna have to roll over 3 times if Logan Paul's gonna pull this off, and he didn't. And somehow, like, I don't even know how Logan figured out how to move his body this way, but he does the line salt where he does the backflip, and usually I would think you get the distance on the flip. You know what I'm saying? Post flip, he still gained inches. Like
I don't even
went
know
further.
how it's possible.
I don't either. But he did it. He pulled it off. He won the match. So obviously there was controversy going into that match, or coming out of that match, I should say, with Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Coming in, Karrion Kross not booked for WrestleMania at all. Comes in. We just saw him wrestle AJ Styles on Raw. He dropped a promo on his social talking about why he wanted AJ to beat Logan Paul and why, Logan Paul represents something he doesn't like in wrestling. He stopped Logan Paul's manager guy from getting the brass knuckles to Logan Paul, which Logan Paul has done countless times.
He's obsessed
before.
with brass knuckles.
Look, if I could punch someone in the face with brass knuckles, I'd be obsessed with them too. It's a real easy way to win. Okay? If my job was to knock people out, I'd be like, yeah, I'd love to use some brass knuckles. So
They said you could do it without the brass knuckles, or you could do it with the brass knuckles. I'll do it with the brass knuckles every time.
10 times out of 10.
Yes.
100% right. But he stops it, and he gives it to AJ Styles. And he says, use them. Just use them. AJ doesn't use them. AJ Styles ends up losing at WrestleMania to Logan Paul. AJ Styles, a guy who is described as, this is a wrestler's wrestler. This is the match. Wrestling AJ Styles at WrestleMania, that's a massive match because it's AJ Styles. He's everything wrestling should be.
AJ didn't want to win in this manner, but Cross needed AJ to win.
In any manner.
Yes.
Yes.
And he believed wrestling needed AJ to win in any manner.
So we were kind of setting up for the podcast. And Karrion Kross, we're backstage at WrestleMania. Karrion Kross walks in. He walks in. We have mics set up because we're booking guests on the fly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
we can get.
We don't know what the results of WrestleMania are going to be, so we're kind of going. That's why some of them are in the gorilla position. That's why some of them are in here. But we have the mic set up. It was after Dominic had come in, and Kross came in. And at first, I was excited. I was like, great, we'll talk to Karrion Kross on the podcast. It did not go exactly the way we planned.
Not at all.
I talked to Joe. I was like, we got to air it. He was like, yeah, we'll air it. So I don't know that Joe has actually, passed this through anybody. However, Karrion Kross came in on the podcast, and here he is.
Sam?
Yeah.
You're a good man. I don't know what you're doing in this business. My dear, hi.
Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Let's talk about how awesome it is that Logan Paul just won. And let's talk about, Sam, what Logan Paul represents. The shortcut. Feels so good to be here. Feels so good to be in the business. Thinking about all of the funerals that I wasn't able to attend for the last 11 years in this business. All of the holidays I missed. I could have just started a YouTube channel. Could have just jumped in there with AJ Styles. Feels really good, right? It's awesome. It's really good.
Do you guys know we have 25 years combined experience, and what are we doing on Mania?
Well, they know because they're normal human beings, and they actually love professional wrestling, but apparently that doesn't mean shit anymore. That doesn't mean shit. All I asked Alan to do was for once to not think about just himself. Think about everybody in the back and think about the professional wrestling fans. That's all I wanted him to do. Sometimes to do the right thing, you have to do the wrong thing. But he's a narcissist, and he had to do it his way. Hey, Alan, how many more WrestleManias do you have in your system? Probably, I don't know, one. Maybe this is the last one, and you just pissed that away. For what? For what? For your way? Thanks a lot, bud. I really appreciate it. You want to know what the best advice I ever got? It was from Bill Goldberg. 2021, back when I was in the Twilight Zone, you know what I mean? I'm wrestling for gasoline. It was awesome. Let me tell you all about it. Bill goes, hey, Kross, you know what? You remind me a lot of me. I go, I think we have different styles, Bill, but I really appreciate that. Do you have any advice for me? He goes, you know what? You just got to be a good soldier. A good soldier is what he said. So I decided to be a good soldier. You know what happened? They released me. And then I come back. You know what being a good soldier gets you, everybody here? Just so in case you're wondering, you want the back scoop here. Being a good soldier gets your times cut. Being a good soldier means that people come up to you and say, hey, you got any great ideas? Yeah, here it is from Scarlet. No. That's a little too great. We're looking just for good ideas. That's for those guys over there. That's what being a good soldier is, okay? Being a good soldier is coming to your hometown where you cut your teeth when we got started and not being on the card. It's all about viral moments now. That's what it's all about, viral moments. Well, Guy, everybody's been telling me that I got to become undeniable. And as soon as it happens, they ignore it and they shut it down. I never asked to wrestle Randy. I never asked. That happened organically, and you ignored it for a viral moment. And good on Joe. Nothing against him. But you ignored it. And the crowd told you exactly how they felt about me on SmackDown when I was eliminated. And you ignored it. Become undeniable. My ass. My ass. You want a viral moment? On behalf of all of the true fans of professional wrestling, Guy with the suit and tie in the truck, go fuck yourself. That's from Killer Cross. No. Fuck it. They leak my fucking contract information online. I have no privacy, nothing.
Look, wrestling's about feelings. Karrion Kross has feelings. Probably mentioned some things I didn't think he was going to mention, but I think we're trying things with this podcast and seeing what gets us in trouble and what doesn't. However, I would like to say that we were talking about some of the winners of WrestleMania, whether it's Randy Orton, John Cena, Dominic Mysterio. Oh, I wonder, is there a Dominic Mysterio winners T-shirt?
Well,
If there is, there's not?
No.
Could you get somebody to make one, please? Okay, they're going to try to
There's
make
the
one.
Joe Hendry one.
There is a Joe Hendry WrestleMania T-shirt.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is up on WWE Shop. Of course, we've got the John Cena Winners Collection, which includes the Last Real Champion T-shirt, which is a lot less charming now that it seems like it could be a reality, but it is available.
Did you get it yet?
No. I did get the John Cena Las Vegas T-shirt
Okay,
while
knew
I
you
was
would,
here.
yep.
So that's going to be staring back at me when I get back in the room, which is odd right now for multiple reasons. But the Still Champion shirts, there's a great Tiffany Stratton Still Women's Champion shirt. All this stuff is available on WWE Shop, and it's just real. I love these winners shirts because they help commemorate moments. And that's what we're talking about, all these great moments that we experience. So you can get them at WWE Shop for all your winners gear. And, of course, wear it all with pride. I love these box breaks. I love what Topps is doing with WWE right now and the cards that they're putting out. And they've done something genius, And now it's made me I saw it in the Fatal 4-Way match. You saw on the back of Finn Balor's
The patches.
pants, he had the patch on it.
Yeah.
Every wrestler on screen at WrestleMania is wearing a WrestleMania patch, exclusive for this WrestleMania. And so what Topps is doing is taking those patches off the wrestler's gear and putting them into one-of-one trading cards. So they're not cutting the patches up. One person gets the Drew McIntyre patch.
Can you
from
get
WrestleMania
the
49.
patch and the autograph, or is one
I
patch?
believe they may. I don't know. Maybe they'll be signed. I don't know if they've announced yet whether they'll be signed or not. I mean, if it's an autograph and it's a patch, great. If it's just a patch, great. These are
Either
one-of-one
way.
items that actually breathed in the air of WrestleMania, that were in the ring, the sweat dripping on them. It's I don't know, for a collector like myself, these are amazing, amazing pieces. Stay tuned to Topps at Topps on Instagram and X and everything for their official drop date. But these will be, they'll be in packs. If you're lucky, you'll find them. And hopefully, I'm very, very lucky. I don't think that it was luck that brought Drew McIntyre to a big dub at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre defeats Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. And by the way, a very hard-fought street fight. I mean, these are two guys. Physicality was promised. We had physicality all the way here. These guys could not. Every time you said face-to-face, every time they're both going to be on SmackDown, they're both going to be at the kickoff, it ended up in security having to separate these two.
And they're two absolute specimens.
And beasts.
And
Beastly specimens.
This was such a long time coming because you remember a year ago at WrestleMania and Drew
100%.
McIntyre finally becomes champion only to lose his championship when Damian Priest cashed in the Money in the Bank contract.
And that chuckle is what has motivated Drew McIntyre for all this time, because it was an embarrassing thing for Drew McIntyre. And yeah, I really, on the road to this match, I really enjoyed the pieces being put together. At first it was like, oh, Drew was eliminated. I guess Damian Priest eliminated Drew from the Rumble and from the Chamber. Oh, okay, I guess there's a rivalry there. And it was like, Drew was like, no, sit down.
This goes
Sit down.
way back.
Yeah, let me tell you what's been going on here. This is crazy. And I said, this is crazy.
I
This has
mean,
been going on for a year, this guy.
Drew had all of his issues with Punk that consumed Drew and all of us for such a long time.
Which, by the way,
But
it's still consuming Drew.
oh yeah,
I'm
you
dr-
and I
Bro,
shared
we're in
a
the-
car with him today.
So we do the Slammy Awards this morning. We're in the car with Drew McIntyre. Drew, we had to leave early so that we could get to WrestleMania. In the car on the way to WrestleMania, Drew has the Slammy Awards on. I did tweet the picture. I hope that he's okay with that. Because he's watching. He's just sitting to himself. He's a quiet guy.
Yeah.
And he's watching when he doesn't have a microphone. And when he's watching CM Punk accept this Slammy Award, and I literally see him. He's flipping off his own phone, watching CM Punk
He can't help
accept this
himself.
award. And by the way, he's literally got a Slammy right next to him in the car. It's like you had this opportunity to say, look, I have this thing. Let me just sit here in a space of gratitude. Or I can keep watching on my phone this guy that I hate, and I'm flipping off my phone. And that's what he decided to do.
Yeah, and he wasn't flipping him off for you or for me. He was doing it because he
He did it
genuinely
quietly.
hates CM Punk.
Quietly. It was crazy. But maybe that's the fuel that Drew McIntyre needs. I mean, he just had a successful Sin City street fight at WrestleMania. Tables being destroyed. That Razor's
We didn't
Edge.
get a "We Want Tables" chant, so that must have made you happy.
Yeah, assuming that they did not chant that. I did not hear it.
I didn't hear it.
So that does make me happy. I do not like that chant whatsoever. But it's like they'll get the tables. Like if they're gonna get the tables, they'll get the tables. Like, would you just let them strategize their own hardcore match, please? Please. We don't need your suggestion every single time. You're not all coaches.
I think you should just let them have fun, okay?
It's not fun. It's not fun. It's a hardcore match. It's brutality. There's nothing fun about it. So anyway, and don't tell these guys how to do their jobs. Anyway, Drew is able to beat Damian Priest, and as Damian Priest is sitting there gasping for air, saying, "I can't breathe," Drew has this look of utter satisfaction on his face, and I think it does go back to exactly what you said. I was thinking, man, a year makes a difference.
Right.
I was thinking of that exact moment. I was thinking of WrestleMania 40, and 5 minutes, Damian Priest coming in and beating Drew McIntyre for that newly won World Heavyweight Championship, which Drew McIntyre hasn't sniffed since. I wonder if things are different now. Look, Drew's on SmackDown. Is Drew going to go John Cena hunting?
Good.
Is Drew going to try to find his way to Raw and go Jey Uso hunting? Is Drew going to have a problem with somebody else that he's going to flip off on his
Drew
phone?
gonna have a problem with Dominic Mysterio? I mean, I don't know.
Why would anybody have a problem with Dominic Mysterio?
A lot of people have had problems with Dominic Mysterio.
Who?
And now that he's a championship, more people are gonna have problems with Dominic Mysterio.
Who has ever had a problem with Dominic Mysterio?
I mean, he's been booed by an entire stadium before.
I don't know that that's...
But you talk about things changing in a year. One thing that didn't change is Drew McIntyre is still tweeting during matches.
I mean, what a goat.
Right?
What a goat this guy is. I mean, if we thought it was good, so a year ago, he makes history by just tweeting bored at work with a picture of himself as he escaped in the ring. This time, he took a selfie with Damian Priest in the selfie, still bored at work, passed the phone off to his friend, and continued on with the match. I mean, this guy is amazing. Social media king, Drew McIntyre.
Truly.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it doesn't just happen at Mania. I mean, it happens every week.
Yeah. I mean, he's tweeting about Jey Uso yesterday.
Yeah.
Like yesterday. And it wasn't even like, ooh, I'm going to get you, Jey Uso. It was just trolling
And they're
him.
always
He's
clever.
a troll, this
They're
Drew
always
McIntyre.
clever. He's like one of the Twitter eggs.
You know what I love about Drew McIntyre? Can you imagine, right? If you're going like, oh, these guys on Twitter are making fun of me. Why don't you come out of your mother's basement with your Cheeto fingers and say it to my face?
And
then
that's-
Drew McIntyre just shows up with shoulders that look like globes, and he's 6 foot whatever he is, just staring down at you with a leather kilt on and going, "I'd love to say it to your face." And you're going, "Sir, it's fine. I don't take any
You're like, "Oh
offense."
my gosh, your mother has a gym in her basement."
Yeah, that's a huge
gosh,
basement.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing down there. Well, congratulations to Drew McIntyre, to Dominic Mysterio, to Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, all the winners of WrestleMania, except probably Logan Paul and John Cena. Tomorrow, we're going to have a historical Monday Night Raw, I would imagine. It's the Raw after WrestleMania.
Biggest Raw of the year.
John Cena has apparently said that he will be there. I'm taking Craig's word for it, okay? So spam him in the comments, not me. But I generally trust him. We'll have John Cena there, according to Craig. We'll have who knows what going on the Raw after WrestleMania, but I will tell you, we will be there in the arena to cover it. We will come to you backstage after tomorrow night's Raw, so make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast across all audio platforms. Make sure that you're checking it out on the WWE's YouTube channel, leaving comments, hitting like, telling your friends. I don't know, there's this show on WWE that they're just letting Megan and Sam say all kinds of weirdness. Tell them all, okay? And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Can't
Meg,
wait.
this has been great.
This has been awesome.
Yes.